later. It's fine.
Oh,
it's all good.
Oh, we got of course, technical difficulties at the start. Way to go, Curtis. This is this is a good start. But hello and welcome to Audionautic Deep Space Network, episode 127. And also of note, this is our actual 4-year anniversary. I saw YouTube put a little thing in the studio that was like, congratulations, your channel turns. It's their birthday today. I think it's 4 years, right? I should know, but you know, what is time anymore? Anyways, today we've got some interesting news. I guess Bandcamp is joining TikTok, and we're going to talk to what extent that actually means and what it's going to be consisting of. And then we're going to talk. We just came off of our Discord server challenge listening party. A lot of I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat who were on the listening party. So we did track in 60 minutes, and everybody made some pretty crazy stuff for making a full track in 60 minutes. And a lot of them actually recorded the footage. So like it's proof like it was done in 60 minutes. Very awesome. We're going to talk what's next for the server challenges. And then we're going to just have a retrospective on 4 years of Audionautic, lessons we've learned in terms of, you know, running a label, releasing music, doing all that type of stuff. And I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. We've got Little Bro saying happy anniversary. Thank you, Little Bro. Always happy to see you. And that was a dope track that you put out on the server challenge. We've also got Abby in the chat. Abby, how are you? Bendu is here. Says, hi, folks. How's it going, Ben? And then we've also got, don't worry, if you were a little weirded out at the fact that there were only 2 of us here right now, I've got news for you. Here's the man, Eon Lake. And he's got a tan, fresh from vacation. What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. Yeah. I've been rejuvenated by nature and throwing myself in the sea a lot.
That's good to hear, because you were a bit of a grump when I saw you last, and rightfully so. You were very stressed out. So I'm very happy to hear you're feeling better.
Yes. Let's see how long it lasts. Say.
Yeah, well, I mean, we are talking about TikTok, so maybe you should get off before it's too late. Well, we're very happy to have you with us, Eon Lake, and also with me today is my Audionautic co-pilot for 4 years, Curtis. What's up, man?
What's up,
you started us off strong today, so how are you?
We're full on our StreamYard data, so but this show won't be recorded onto the StreamYard.
Wait, why not? What happened?
Because we're full. So we've got 50 gigs of recorded episodes. So we've been all right. So Audionautic is 4 years old today, and we're going to get to that. But ADSN is now, this is episode 127, and we have always, for a long time, we have been doing over 50 gigabytes worth of data. So we have to routinely go through and clear up some of the older episodes from our backlog.
I'm going to just delete all of them right now. I know it won't record this one. Don't. Why not?
Don't do it, because we are you can delete the recording. Don't delete the broadcast because it's linked to our YouTube, so they will delete our live streams.
I'm not deleting the broadcast. I'm in the library, so it's only the last one's Starstream. But I won't do anything right now. We'll let patience prevail. But it shouldn't cause anything. But I say that, and then it'll cause this to like explode or something. But that's crazy. 50 gigs of video.
Yeah, it's insane. So that was why we had the technical difficulties at the beginning. Or I just realized just as I clicked go.
That means that I can't upload to the podcast until it renders on YouTube. So podcasters, sorry if it's a little late. We've been posting it immediately after we air on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but I guess it'll have to wait probably till tomorrow. But that's okay. We love our YouTube community and our Discord, so it's all good. It's all good. But we love you listening over there. And if you do want to help us, if I didn't just piss you off, then leave a rating. Hey, nice and smooth today. But yeah, anyways, Curtis, how are you doing?
I'm okay. It's good to be back. We've come back to the thick and full of it. It's been a while since all 3 of us have been sitting around this proverbial table for a while, and it's nice to kind of be back into it. Haven't even seen Eon Lake for 2 weeks and didn't even get a chance to ask him how he is. And
you saw his tan self in Starstream.
He must be doing good. Yeah, this is true. We had a great discussion on Sunday, and that was nice. It was nice always to come back to it. So thank you, patrons, for coming and chatting with us. We had a great discussion around Robin last on Sunday.
Yeah, and if
some
you're
new
not
faces
familiar
as
with
well.
what we're talking about when we say Starstream, that's our patron exclusive podcast. So if you want to check that out, patreon.com/Audionautic, and the link is in the description. But yeah, that was a good discussion. We were talking presets and patches and Ableton HQ. Mike was unable to get me the push 3 he promised, but I'll forgive him. But Eon Lake came through with some Ableton stuff for me, so you might be seeing something Ableton related at some point from me. Just saying. You might, because I'm making sample packs, and so I want to create sampler patches where someone can just open the sampler in their DAW and it's already set up. Like I've made the LFOs and all that type of stuff, and it seems like I need sampler for that, not simpler. But I'm gonna see if I can get away with simpler, because Eon Lake got me like Ableton Light or something, like that upgrade path. So we'll see. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. And now we got to talk TikTok.
Yeah. Don't worry, Eon Lake. It's okay. It's all right.
Avert thine ears.
Do we though? Do we have to?
Let's
earmuffs, Eon Lake. Well, we do,
on.
because it's related to Bandcamp.
Yeah, hear us out. Hear us out. Don't judge a book by its cover. We
Just
have found
Bandcamp then, and I won't complain.
But it's TikTok and Bandcamp, so I don't know. Does one wrong cross out a right?
I'm not so sure. But
no, definitely not.
No, I think this is interesting news. Curtis, let me share the screen. Are you good to for me to share it?
Just a sec. I will say that I could scarcely believe it. I did have to give myself a pinch for this. Because I can't quite believe if it's a real thing or if we've slipped an alternative reality. It seems like the two antitheses of the independent music scene are coming together in a way. Share the screen.
The singularity, man. The singularity,
the conversions, exactly. So this is the story. And look at this. Bandcamp joins TikTok. I mean, it's all over. Like, we have take a breath, everybody.
No, I think I got to tell you, as someone who I have TikTok on my old phone to post to and stuff, I think this is cool. It doesn't hurt if they're making an account and they're sharing discoverability and things like that, and their Bandcamp daily. I think this is a net win, perhaps. We have to see how it develops. I don't want to speak too soon, but let's hear what it's exactly doing. But I mean, I'm not sure if there's necessarily a downside besides it being on TikTok. But Curtis, illuminate us, please. What's going on? Bendu says this is the first time hearing of this. So,
okay. Well, according to Digital Music News, anyway, Bandcamp has joined TikTok to highlight artists using the platform as basically an extension of its Bandcamp Daily feature, right? And it's meant to spread it to a new audience. The TikTok channel will feature familiar content and the content creators that are already familiar with the platform, such as Sarah Tang, Olivia McEwen-Hill, for example. And these creators will focus on building the online communities and discussing music content related specifically to Bandcamp itself. Bandcamp's TikTok channel will also include appearances from the editorial team and other contributors. And this seems to be one of the biggest developments since Bandcamp was bought out by Songtrader in 2023. It's quite exciting in that regard.
Yeah, and I posted in the chat that on Bandcamp Daily, they've actually put in their own words like what's going on. So they've made a thing. So if you want to see from Bandcamp, from the source, this is true. Because I was like, let's make sure we're not getting like a late April Fools with this or something. But no, it's quite very true. Because Curtis brought this to the table. Not that I doubt Curtis's searchability, but I just wanted to. This is serious. This is interesting. So I wanted to just check it. But yeah. Looks like Curtis pulled it up. This is Bandcamp Daily's website. Bandcamp comes to TikTok by Bandcamp Daily staff. So, yep. I don't think, again, they've just made an account, and it sounds like they're using it to promote Bandcamp Daily. I'm curious what the format's going to be. Are they going to make little short-form viral videos? Or, what are they going to do? It's that's where my brain goes. Like, how are they going to use it? What's the format they're going to create? Are they going to have, like, reviews? Are they going to have just text stuff? How are they going to use TikTok? Because I think the algorithm on TikTok is, well, whatever algorithm it is, it's fascinating. So I from a like music marketing standpoint, I'm very curious now. How is it going to be, like, what's going to be done? How's it going to be done? How's it going to be created? Eon Lake, as the biggest lover of TikTok I know and Spotify, what's your take on this?
It's a good job I sat down. Yeah. It's a good job I went to the toilet before this as well. I'm so
Not a
excited.
fan?
I've missed you, man. I've missed you.
So excited. No, interesting, really. I am vaguely interested.
Yeah.
It's an interesting development. If you've ever asked the question, does anyone on TikTok give a flying
Bleep.
Can't finish that sentence about music, we might actually be about to find out. And this will be the way. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily to seed the idea, with the people that use TikTok that, music exists. There is this underground, there is this platform, and and that it enables you, if you're so interested, to have some sort of direct communication with people who make music rather than this, this remote, this is the best music, you're allowed to buy it, say thank you, now go away sort of approach of retail for the last God knows how many years. So I don't know, maybe it will appeal. I've always thought personally, without any proper reason to, that nobody on TikTok really is a lover of music. They may be consumers of music on there, but I don't think music's not something you go to TikTok for. But that's just blatant, bias on my part, and I guess we'll find out.
Well, that's an interesting differentiation you put there when you say they might be consuming music, but not, what was it, lovers of music, whatever have you? Because I think you make a fair point. Because
I think
TikTok
things can go viral on there, right?
That's what I was going to say.
To the point where people don't give a damn what it is, it's just I like that beat, or that.
I see a lot, like this song got a lot of Spotify plays after going viral on TikTok, but then I would be curious, and I don't have any of the data on this, but like after the virality ends, does the song keep getting the plays, or is it, riding the wave of virality of the TikTok?
Spill out onto adjacent songs on the same
release? Does it? That's an even better question. Does the artist get other, are people following and all that? And I don't have the data. It might be out there. That's something to look at. But I think that's a good way to say.
Kind of makes us expect that what will happen is if you do get something that gets a lot of attention, it'll be that, only that, it will die stone dead, and you'll be back where you started some point further along the road. That's the kind of negative, biased, prejudiced viewpoint that you might start with. Maybe it's
that you'll hear from an Eon Lake.
Yeah. I mean, if you listen to like negative, depressing, maybe older than some people on the internet, but who does that? That would be silly, wouldn't
it? Curtis, you brought this to the table. What's your thought on all this?
I'm very optimistic. I'm very positive about it.
Not always with Curtis.
He's up there.
I think that this is the first major kind of concrete thing that we've seen from Bandcamp since it was acquired in 2023 by Songtrader. And if you remember when we were doing that analysis of that time, we were like, this is an interesting development and it could be a step towards modernization, but a purchase doesn't really mean anything. And now we see something tangible coming through. Now, it might not be a match made in heaven, but I mean, TikTok's one of the trendiest things, especially around Gen Z and Gen Alpha. And the notion of them stepping into the modernity of the independent lifestyle or the social media platform content creation world is really encouraging. If we still, to this day, if you are on Bandcamp and you want to share your album, or if you want to share a song from your album, you have to go and create a link through Instagram itself, right? Whereas like on Spotify or on Tidal, you just do share and it comes up with a nice little graphic. It looks kind of cool. You put a canvas there, etc. Right? One of the biggest things about us not being able to market our music in the modern world effectively through Bandcamp is the fact that their shareability is depressing, and it is kind of lackluster, and it is behind them with the times. But this stepping to the forefront suggests to me, at the very least, that they are aware of that and looking to combat that the best way they can. Whether that be editorials or whether that be them showcasing things from Bandcamp Daily, we don't know. But the very fact that they're coming on one of the biggest platforms and looking and making a big deal about it suggests to me it's very encouraging.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing, though, you mentioned that we didn't have any news from Bandcamp, or this is the first thing they did. One thing in October that they did do was layoffs, and they laid off several of the editorial staff. So there have been some things, but it looks like, I think when we covered that the last time, we were worried that this was kind of the end of editorial, because Bandcamp Daily is really awesome, and the new and notable section has been really good for a lot of artists. The Discover page and all that is really cool. So there was a lot of worry that, you know, this was furthering, like, getting rid of things. And now look, you know, they're making an editorial, so they're making a TikTok, so it's obvious they're going to try to put in some time into this and effort. So that is reassuring, given the layoffs previously and stuff. So I like I was saying earlier, now that we've talked about it, I don't think there's any negativity to this. Like, there's no con to this. Their Bandcamp Daily is going to be on there. They'll be sharing artists, and if they figure out, you know, good ways to reach the algorithm and stuff, then it's only a win, because it's promoting Bandcamp, which gets more people on the platform, which is what we need as artists who love to be on Bandcamp and want to be on Bandcamp. And then it's adding discoverability if you get shared by them or something and they grow and all that. So I can't think of a negative here besides, you know, maybe Eon Lake's point that it's TikTok or something. Eon Lake's got a negative. That's surprising, you know, off of all that summer sun. I guess is it cloudy over there today? Did you lose the sun?
No, it's really sunny actually.
So that's why you're in this cave of synth.
I mean, I don't disagree with what you guys are saying. I do think it's good. I just think, hang on a minute. All they've really done, I mean, all right, there's a bit more than this, is set up an account on TikTok and start posting stuff, right? What took so long?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point. That I'm just looking at the bright side. It's there now, and they're willing to at least try to put in the effort, because given those layoffs and stuff, it was a concern of this whole thing.
And obviously, they're not going to be like a regular poster on TikTok. It's going to be, like you say, sharing Bandcamp Daily and stuff like that. So I'm being a little bit facetious.
No, it's a good point, though.
But
Bandcamp has always been a bit kind of slow to, I mean, a lot of the websites still look like they do when I first started using Bandcamp, like the options you can do to change things and stuff. So they're prone to slow rollouts and slow updates, let's say. But this, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm very curious though, like, what type of content will it, like, what's the actual application of this content? How are they going to make it? Because it's just interesting from a marketing standpoint. I want to say hello to Asaph Stripe, one of our patrons. Says, good afternoon, everyone, and happy 4. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we couldn't do it without all of our patrons, so massive thanks to all of you. Bendu also says, anything that Bandcamp makes more relevant as an alternative to big streaming, I'm for it. Definitely. And I think that's one thing, you know, Eon, like we joke, like, what took them so long, but they're on one of the biggest social media platforms. So that the idea of increased discoverability and just increased awareness of Bandcamp can't hurt. Getting people to Bandcamp, because we always talk, Spotify has the biggest demographic, right, of listeners and of people who use the product. Let's call it what it is, the product. And with all these new changes they're doing, where streaming payouts are getting less and less, it's nice to see, you know, if we can raise awareness to Bandcamp to the general consumer. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So and you don't have to be on TikTok if they can still cover you and get people to the Bandcamp to check you out. So
exactly,
I mean, I think
if they're doing it so you don't have to, it's almost like I can't really use that analogy. It's not family friendly, but
there you go. We do have to keep it family friendly, Eon Lake. But chat, I would be curious to hear what everybody thinks about this. I know we got Bendu, but if anybody else has their thoughts, I'm curious to hear it. Curtis, anything else on this topic?
No, I've said my piece. I'm very optimistic, and I think it will be, while it comes across as they do, they've set up an account, anyone can do that. You know, it only takes setting up an account. We set up an account 4 years ago today, and look at what we're doing. And I think that is it's about the intention, right, at the end of the day. And I think if it drags Bandcamp into the modern world and more people can see it, then that's never going to be a bad thing. I'm very excited for it.
Definitely. Moving on from there, if you still have anything you want to add about this, feel free. But let's talk real quick about the Discord challenge, because we had a lot of fun with that today, and everybody put out some seriously awesome tracks. So once a month, or just about once a month, depending on the challenge that it is, we're doing challenges over on our Discord, and you can head there. The link is in the description. It's open to all. But what we're doing is we come up with a couple of different options, and everybody votes. And I know Curtis threw a poll up. I can't see the poll on StreamYard. Another thing with StreamYard. But Curtis can tell me the poll numbers, but we will also post the poll afterwards in the Discord on that server challenge discussion channel. So we'll compile all the votes together. But we want to also think, if anybody has other ideas besides the 3 that we put, Levi in the challenge listening party that we just had came up with one about the hit'em genre. So we have to look into that. And then Bendu mentioned, I think it was called, I don't remember what it was called, but basically like everybody kind of compiles the sound together, like, and stuff. So there's a couple of other ideas, which I think we'll hold for the next one. But if anybody has any quick ideas for this one, but otherwise, I think the 3 or 4 that we have right now, did you put, I think you only put 3 on the poll, right? But we also have genre we don't normally work in. So there's actually 4.
There's 4. I didn't see that. I didn't see that because it was in bold.
Okay, so if anybody would prefer that voted on for one of the other 3, just commented in the chat. But basically, so there's 4. Genre we don't normally work in. So let's say if you normally work in ambient, do death metal, let's say. A genre we despise. So you have to make a track in a genre you despise. So if you really hate pop music, you've got to work in that or something. Or if you're Eon Lake, I don't know what Eon Lake hates. What music do you not enjoy? I feel like country. Does that even reach your ears? I
think I'd rather listen to country than pop music.
Okay, so you'd have to make pop. The other 2, a corporate jingle. So I'm thinking, just for legality's sake, think of a product in your mind or whatever and make a corporate jingle to like promote it, like what you would hear on a commercial, radio, whatever. So probably like 15-30 seconds long. You don't have to do vocals or whatever. I think like there's that one label that does that, like Hauntology Ghost Box, but there's one artist on it. I think it's the Advisory Circle. Their earlier releases were very like twisted jingles or something. I don't know. If you listen to, I forget the name of that album, but I think it's like Green, the album cover. But that one, what's it called? I'll have to look. But it's very like corporate-esque of like the 70s and 80s. It's a really cool album though. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then the final one is the same sample challenge. So everybody will be given the same sample, and then you just flip it however you want. And then at the end of all of these, every month we come together and we have a listening party. The goal here isn't to criticize or feel judgment or anything like that. It's all about just having fun, getting out of our comfort zones, and coming together as a community to build each other up, offer feedback, learn, because our motto is together we grow. Well, besides make it sound good, dude, but those go together. Curtis, anything on that I missed? But yeah, so those are the 4. So if you did want to do that other one, that's not on there, the genre we don't normally work in, just comment that you wanted to do that one, and then Curtis,
we'll put ironically I missed that because it was in bold and looked like a title,
which really cracks me up, because usually
it's so ironic, right? But we'll do a poll in the Discord as well to kind of get things going.
What is the poll here looking like? I can't see.
Currently we're looking at corporate jingle for an advert is winning at 67%.
Interesting.
And you've got in second place, you've got genre we despise at 22, and then same sample challenge at 11% in third.
All right, interesting. Okay.
And yeah, so it's a lot of fun. They are fun. We don't take them too seriously. We try and we do a good job of staying away from the competitive outlet. It's all about just bringing something different to the table, and creating a deadline informally by which we can then just sit, chill, and hang out for a little bit. It's usually done on the last Wednesday of every month, so we'll finish it this week. It's 28th of August today. Probably be doing this on around about the 25th of September, so the last Wednesday in September. which gives us time till the end of the week to draft a new one, and the cycle continues. It's a lot of fun. Come and sit down. You could be making a little bro, for example, has been making beats for a short amount of time, relatively, as far as I'm aware in my existence. He wrote an absolute banger today, and an absolute banger, and it's amazing.
I'd love to have his mentor.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think it doesn't matter whether you've been making beats for 5 minutes or for 5 years or for 50 years. Come down. It's a lot of fun. We hang out, and I'm amazed at what comes through. And it's
super inspiring.
It's really one of those situations where you know, something comes through and you go, several times a day, I've just gone, ooh, when something's come in. It's so unexpected.
Yeah, I was cracking up because like we had one track, it was drum and bass, and then this chiptune lead comes in, and Curtis is like, "Oh!" Yeah,
Levi was
pretty
absolutely epic as well.
It was pretty sick. Yeah, it was pretty sick. Yeah,
Mario,
it's really inspiring to hear everybody's things, and then I try to ask everybody kind of like what they learned in it. Like this challenge, I really just want to reiterate, it's not easy to make a track in 60 minutes, and a lot of people filmed it, live streamed it, which adds a whole other pressure, especially if they're not used to being on camera, especially when making music and stuff. So that was the goal here, is it gets us out of our comfort zones, gets us to do something different and try things and see, you know, that stuff that might be scary to us isn't really, we can get through it. We can get through it together and come together and build each other up. And so that's the goal with these. So yeah, that's why we do these. And the only way we can do these is thanks to our patrons. So I want to say much love to our patrons who support us and let us do this week in and week out. If you do want to help us do more challenges, additional shows like the Audionautic radio that we've started doing, another way to bring the community together and bring awareness outside of Spotify, social media and stuff like that, consider joining patreon.com/Audionautic. It starts at, I think Curtis does this better, but it starts at as little as $2, as Curtis would say. But you get an additional podcast, exclusive chats in the Discord, and then at other levels, higher tiers, you also get sample packs, early access to what's coming out on the record label, and a lot of other things. So if you want to check out all the tiers, head to patreon.com/Audionautic. But it really is the best way to help support the show. And if you do want to just do a one-time donation, no membership or anything, there's a PayPal as well, which I believe is in the description, but I didn't make the description today, so Curtis can attest to whether it is or not. But if it's not, I'll put it in there after it. Oh, I got the thumbs up. It's there. So yeah, if you want to just help, you know, that's the thing with all this type of stuff, we get recurring costs and all that. So that's Patreon is the best way to help support, but that works as well. But of course, just hanging out, being in the chat, coming to those challenges, that's what matters, you know, coming together and just learning and all that. Curtis, anything I missed?
No, I don't think you've missed anything at all. I think that was
nailed it.
It was an incredibly good way of doing it.
Well, thank you, good sir.
Just want to echo my thanks. It's been, we are at 4 years, and since me and you sat down at opposite ends of the world and went, hey, you know what we could do? We could do
collab,
a thing.
bro.
And yeah, exactly. And we did a thing, and here we are. And each week we're running around and we're doing stuff, and we're sitting here on this platform because of our patrons. It's our patrons who essentially fund us. We don't do ads, we don't do sponsorships or anything like that. And so we are sitting here today because of you and because of your hard work. The platform that we have here and the burgeoning community that we've got, the fun that we're all having, is down to you guys. And from the bottom of our hearts, thank you ever so much for your continued and unwavering support in a time when we rarely get on the live stream dead on the hour. It's always a bit after. We really appreciate the fact that you put up with
808.
So thank you very much.
Yeah.
We get you. Ian Lake, anything to add to that?
Just my love. I appreciate it as much as the other guys do. And if you've got a thumb, then click on the button, the thing that says I too have a thumb on
Yeah. Sorry, I was responding to comments and looking at the comments, but yes, yeah, Thomas isn't here, unfortunately, but yeah, he usually says smash that like button. But yeah, if you do want to help,
destroy it. I mean, if it's still there, then you didn't do it hard enough.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's the way to do it. But yeah, it just means the world we can do this, and I think that brings us nicely to our round robin, which is at least in my mind, a little more freeform this time. But I know Curtis has some things to read and stuff. But we just want to talk kind of like, it's 4 years of doing this, so lessons learned, things we've taken away from it, but also, you know, we finally met in person in July, and in the live stream we did, we kind of covered some of this stuff to a degree about like how we got started and all that. But of course, chat, if you do have any questions regarding Audionautic or anything like that, let us know, or anything we've learned in this time of 4 years. But I think that's, at least on my end, what I'd really like to hear from each of us is kind of how we've grown, what we've learned, both as musicians, but also musicians doing this. You know, we cover a lot of gear, a lot of marketing things. Has anything kind of changed in the way we approach stuff? 4 years is a pretty long time when you break it down. So I'm curious to hear everything. But in the chat, little bro says Lars went to the shadow realm. he'll be back. Don't worry. He brought his BC Rich though. He brought that BC Rich with him. But Lars was with us. Well, was with me because you two just decided to bounce last week. No, I'm kidding. But Lars was here last week with the album. But Curtis, unless there's somewhere else you want to start, do you mind starting just with your takeaways, or if you want to read what people have written on the Discord and socials and stuff, however you want to start it. But that's kind of where I want to approach this, kind of like our growth and what we've learned as musicians and musicians doing this.
Or as in internally, as in our own journey, or as a community?
Internal, external, communal.
However you see it. I mean,
yeah, however you see it. That's a good way to put it down.
To open the door, obviously, but beyond that.
Yeah, we did witness your cat learn to open a door. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. But beyond
that's another Patron exclusive right there. Where do I start? I think over the last 4 years, okay, let's start with myself, because that's where a good place to start.
How narcissistic.
I think
I'm just kidding.
I know. It's all about me. No, I think doing this week in, week out and checking in with people on a regular basis has given me the understanding and more of the acceptance of the fact that the further I go down the rabbit hole of music production, the less I know, and that's okay. And that there's always something to be learned from your peers in that regard. And that has allowed me just to let go of a lot of the anxiety and a lot of the pressure that I put on myself. I will always be self-deprecating about the work I put out, and I don't think that will really change, but I've let go a lot more. And I think that the notion of seeing what other people create and what other people produce is the biggest inspiration and the biggest lesson that I can do. I think my absorption of music, generally speaking, has gone from the big wide world of Spotify and YouTube to the close knit what's going on around in the smaller communities and stuff like that, where there's so much more, in my experience at least, there's so much more authenticity and so much more originality and takeaways from what people are doing, and witnessing other people do their thing and be who they are unapologetically. Yeah, absolutely inspirational, I think, for me. That's my biggest takeaway from what I've just learned, to let go and enjoy seeing what other people get up to.
All right. Eon Lake?
I'd have to echo that to some extent. I think one thing that surprised me is what influences me. I mean, when you're young and you're growing up, you're learning some form of music, or alternatively, maybe you're a drummer. You sort of, you do your hero worship phase. You learn to play songs that they did and all the rest of it, and it's all very mainstream. And as you get older, maybe you start to become more aware that there are undergrounds out there, and there are smaller things that are perhaps more focused in certain ways, or might be more interesting to you. And you spread out. And I've found recently that what influences me is more. And I read this once, ironically, in a drumming magazine. It's like the people that or the guy down the street, or somebody in your everyday life, somebody you have regular interactions with, can be a lot more of an influence to you than the greatest, musician that ever lived that you worship from afar. And I think that's very true. And yeah, I'm motivated by what I see, what I perceive to be my peers doing, you know, in the community and the scene at large and so on. It does push me along. It does give me it does fuel me. I'm still influenced by some major artists, you know, label releases and whatnot, but it's very much a 50-50. My Bandcamp archive is massive. You know, there's loads of stuff in there, and it's only getting bigger. And so that's definitely changed. I think one thing that's changed about me as well is over that period of time, I think when you start out doing this with a minimal setup, you start off being very expansionist and very sort of, oh, I need a bit of this, I need that, I need some analog synths, I need a stack of samplers, you know, definitely need a kalimba, you know, and
oh no
pieces.
Oh no. Wait. Hold on.
I need a stylophone. I need a monotron.
You need all the weird stuff. You need all the weird stuff.
Okay. Hold on. There we go. Yeah.
Yay.
You've got to have one to hand, you know, if you're serious about what you're doing.
If you're a real musician, you've got a kalimba next to you.
Yeah.
And I didn't. It was back there, so I'm not a real musician. If
you don't have a cactus of some kind in your studio or a succulent or something that you can use in a top-down shot, you know, what are you doing?
Wait, really quickly, Asaph says, Mike, those kalimbas. So just for...
Oh, there it is. See, it's always within arm's reach.
Yeah, you're smart. See, I didn't have mine. It was way back there, which I think my little NTS1 is over there too. I don't actually know where that is.
Sunwarper's got his, you know, with his Marshall stack, you know, where it belongs.
No, it was next to it. Yeah, but do you ever notice the little Marshall that's up there too?
Yeah,
that's the little Marshallception.
Yeah. So initially you start off being quite expansionist, and I was pretty expansionist. I've gone crazy, and there's all sorts of gear. But
wait, you went crazy with gear?
Yeah. Although that urge is still there, I'm really wanting to silence it now and turn the other way and start zeroing in and thinking this is getting to the point where it's becoming a distraction, right? And all three of us at some point have sort of split out onto a small desk or something to have something without a door or a live rig testing or just a little place where you do sketches or whatnot before bringing them into the studio. We've all done it. And my head very much now is about focusing in on the things that I like, the few things that I need to do that. I'm still driven by novelty and interesting sounds and so on, and trying to make different types of sound and having a different palette to play with. But it's not about needing more plugins or gear anymore. It's about being better with what I have and making better use of the things that I have and pushing that acquisition syndrome away and realizing that it's not helping me with what I want to do. I think that's something that's been slowly dawning on me over the last few months as I sort of take bits out of my studio and focus on them, try to get to know them better, put them back, get another one. And I've been through a bit of a journey. I've gone from one extreme to another, I think. But I think it's natural to have these expansions and contractions in the way that you think about music, in the way that you approach it. It's all a journey, and I'm enjoying the journey, and I'm trying to focus on that. And another thing that I've gained is just that realization that, you know, you go through phases. There'll be times when you feel like this is just really not happening and not really worth going on with. But at the same time, you come to appreciate that it happens regularly. Thing ebbs and flows, as Curtis would say.
Solos.
A solo maybe, and you know you just carry on because it's something that you love, and you know it's a journey that you're still on, even if you don't necessarily like all the scenery sometimes.
I like that. That's a very good way of putting it. It'll carry on even if you don't like the scenery around it. That's wonderful, Leon. Like,
And that's just what I could think of. I mean, there's a whole lot more.
imagine
But
what happens if you wrote any of it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being prepared is not Audionautic's way.
Someone can help me out there.
Well, I didn't write anything down, but I will say to that point, this is one of my takeaways. Well, it ties into one of my takeaways, but what you were saying there, Eon, like, you know, it's all part of the journey. You phrased it much more eloquently, which isn't surprising. But I think that's what really has been a blessing or key and just like awesome for me in this 4 years is when you're in those moments, you're not alone because you can talk about it. And it's not just with other musicians, it's with very similar like-minded musicians who have a bunch of crazy weird synthesizers or pedals or love to sample things or do this kind of genre-esque of music or, you know, in that like adjacent area or something. So a lot of people understand it and can not just sympathize, but relate and offer advice and just help to remind you that you're on the path, you're on the way, and we're all just walking each other home, right? As Ramdas would say, Curtis. But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things that I've gotten from this is just the sense of community and the Discord especially, but like Audionautic in general, but even just you two. Like I message Curtis all the time when I'm having existential musical issues or if my mix is, you know, I'm on mix 20 and I'm like, enough. I go to the wisest mixer I know and I go, Eon, like, what do you think? And then he's like, it's good. Just finish, man. And I'm like, okay, cool.
You
all
never
right,
really need to.
But that's the other thing. It's taught me to kind of like realize, go with your gut typically, you know? It's like, and then you have these people you can fall back on. And I think just this sense of community was the biggest thing. And then also just like we do kind of weird music, right? And just like synthesizers are a bit niche. Okay, you know, and DAWs and samplers and stuff like that. A lot of people use them, but like I've never really found many people in school, in life, work, whatever, you know, that can relate to these kind of things. Or like if you're having a struggle with, you know, like in Logic, I couldn't get something to work in the sampler. It's like I can't just mention to somebody like, dude, this sampler, like I can't get this thing to do that. They're gonna be like, what? But I can go into the Discord or talk to you guys and be like, yeah, this sampler, and Eon Lake will be like, well, have you tried doing this or that? Or like I had this issue with Overbridge and I was talking with somebody on the Discord about Overbridge and trying to solve that. And it's like, be like, what's Overbridge? Like you're going over a bridge, but you're standing here next to me. And I'm like, no, Electron, it's a box. You know, like what? It's like, no one's gonna know what that means. So I think that's really cool that we can have that. And then also just like, I used to be very, very nervous in releasing my music and putting things out there and putting myself out there. And I think Audionautic has really like helped me to kind of just like coming week in, week out, we go live. Like that's something that's always been scary for me or nerve wracking. And so it's like, we're doing it. And then started doing live stuff on my own channel and putting stuff out. And like, it took me 5 years to release my first album. And now I release stuff like, you know, quite frequently. So, and that's thanks to like this and the repetition and stuff like that. What's that little smile there? You know, like
I'd just say you've come a long way because I mean,
it's a journey, man.
You used to ask questions a lot, you know, of yourself.
You gotta
and
learn,
still do, but there's a lot more confidence
it's
there.
Good to challenge yourself, though.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I mean,
that's what I've learned though too, is that at the end of the day, like you got to just go with your gut. And usually, even if you think something's a little weird, there was a reason you did it that way. And it's like, okay, maybe, you know, or like, oh, maybe I'm second guessing myself. Really quickly though, I want to say hello to our patron Thomas, who did come.
Hey,
Mr. Smash the like button is here, but he's driving home, so I don't want to have him type if he, you know, no need to get
anything.
Yeah, don't risk it. Don't smash anything besides the like button. But Thomas, don't do that right now because you're driving. Also, patron Mike Smith is here. What's going on? Yeah. Awesome talking with you in the Star stream. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it all. I don't know if that brought anything else up, Eon Lake or Curtis. Eon Lake, I think you were saying something actually. Sorry.
I was just going to tell you how far you come, you know, about finding that balance. And, you know, that sounds a little patronizing, really, for somebody who never needed any help anyway. But
well, thank you. I appreciate it, though.
It's a really good example of how, you go through a journey, you learn along the way. I mean, nobody told you all of that. You came to all these conclusions yourself. You found this balance yourself. And it's kind of like analogous to a load of other things that other people are going through. And, you learn about how this creation process works, about the psychology of it all that can really mess things up for you and so on. And you come out the other side, with some good experience. And there's been a lot of that. But one thing you did make me think of is just some of the releases that we did early on. Like there was a charity release we put out that was, I remember listening to that, and I liked the track I did because I wanted to do something that sounded hopeful, because it was supposed
I love that track, dude.
For a charity. Yeah. Thank you. And I remember listening to that album and just thinking, that's good. That everything on it was brilliant. It was for a good cause. It was just a good thing to have done, as something that we came together on as well. That was a high point for me. It's a happy memory, I think, of something that we did together.
Well, we are looking into doing more compilations because of these challenges that we're doing. So we'll have more on that soon. But Ian, just finish a challenge song so we can get you on there.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're right. And I'm not trying to diminish. That's great.
Tonight, actually, it's all set up. I was rehearsing this afternoon.
There we go. Perfect. Yes, perfect. Nailed it. We will be postponing the due date, though, and we're opening it to any of the sample challenges. Like any of the challenge, you can submit one of whatever challenge you feel like submitting. But we'll talk about that soon. We're kind of fleshing it all out, but there's just a lot going on right now. But Curtis, anything else?
I just want to say I'm proud of you, brother.
Thank you.
I think I don't mean that in any other way than just a brother to a brother. Like, I keep thinking it's around this time of year every year that I think about the first things that we did. And I remember being in my apartment in the middle of Hanoi in the middle of summer. We started prepping everything in July, right? And we officially launched in August, and we lined up Star Madman, Spectre, and Survey Channel.
Great start.
Great start. Yeah. And we were doing these pre-recorded interviews, and I do remember some of you being very nervous and scared about the notion of being on camera, being there, being live, that kind of thing. We always said we wanted to do live streams and stuff like that, but this was a stepping stone to it. And now, 4 years later, you fucking running a show. And we do it. We run a show week in, week out without fail. Even at times when it's tough, like this week, we didn't even meet, and we cobbled together a show and we did it, and we keep on going. And so in that regard, the growth from not just your music, but the way you can go to host and where you can go to co-pilot this is just outstanding. So I think that deserves acknowledgement, and it deserves its praise.
Well, right back at you, dude. But I remember we started this with Collab Bro on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, it was said differently, but that is how it started. I'm trying to, I really do appreciate that. And I've watched our old videos, all of us, and we've all grown so much. And so I don't want it to just be about me. You guys,
especially all three guys who don't want to be on camera.
But look at us now. Look at us now. All right, hold on. I'm trying to find.
I still don't want to be on camera. But,
well, why are you here, man? No. I'm trying to see if I can get something special to open up, but I'm not.
Well, I'll tell you what, while you do that, let me read a comment from the Discord.
Yeah, go for it.
And if anyone wants to share anything and any retrospect about the community or about Audionautic, please feel free. And either just for the fact that you want to do it, or there will be a reason for it at the very end once we've got towards the end of the show today. But this is from patron and label mate Frequency Control Center, FCC, who has done 2 releases with us, and I'm hoping he's going to come back for more. We'd have to have a conversation. FCC, if you're listening / watching, hi brother, hope you're well. So he says here, wow, 4 years. I wouldn't be where I am today without you guys and the community. When I got back to making electronic music 4 years ago, I never dreamed I'd release an album. When that label folded, I wasn't sure I'd carry on, but you guys played my tracks and then helped me release my second album. And here I am working on my third. I wouldn't have been able to do it without any of your help. The amazing community, the knowledge of all you great people, the enthusiasm and the pickups when times were hard. It's not just about the music. It's about being part of something bigger, and it's great to see it grow. It's very poetic. Thank you. Very FCC. It's lovely.
FCC is such a good dude, and I love his music. And when we talked about like his sampler stuff, so I just like love his ear. You know, the production sensibility he has. Anyways, I got to mute myself because I'm trying to test something. So carry on for a second. I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that gets me about that comment is just, you know, you listen to his music and you just think, is this the same guy? Is that? But it is the same guy, and he did write that, and apparently he means it, which is lovely. But yeah, I mean, you listen to his music, he didn't need any help, really. It's just, it feels like it had to come out, you know?
Right. It's so
like that by accident.
Exactly. It's so natural and it's so serendipitous that it just, you know, spills out. Much like, you know, we're all our own worst critics, right? And we all kind of are unsure about what we do and, you know, and where we're going. And FCC is no different, obviously, but the tones and the grittiness that comes out of that is amazing. If you don't know Frequency Control Center, head across to audionauticrecords.bandcamp.com and have a look. There's 2 releases there. Somewhere Boy and Analogs of Traces, 2 absolutely outstanding albums. And that's where I'm at more recently, I think, is that kind of notion of giving the space to the other people, like the working more deeply with the label mates that we have coming through, those who have released this year and those who will release with us next year, because we've already started rostering for next year. Just the ability just to sit down and have a conversation with them and see them face to face and deal with them face to face, or as much as face to face can be over Google Chat or over Discord or something like that.
Yeah.
Working out mind like the artwork and things like that, and working out how to make their dream come true. And it's a learning curve. And I think there's a situation very recently where it's like we've got something to do and we don't quite know how to do it, and so we're working out as a team and together and how to do that, all in the end of creating this vision for the people and for the people who come out there. And it's lovely and rewarding. I really appreciate doing it. So to everyone who is in the community and who is working with us at the label level or at the Patreon level or at the Discord level, or be it all 3, it's amazing. And thank you so much for coming to our little corner of the internet.
And before we drift too far from artwork, I mean, I got to say it because it wasn't on the show for the release discussion and everything, but the artwork for Lars's album, absolutely mint.
But same with yours, dude. Yours has been on a roll lately.
Yeah, I mean, I loved what you did for mine, but
he's jealous.
Yeah, I mean, wow,
done better.
I saw that. I thought,
well, thank you very much.
Stuff. Brilliant.
That's very kind,
guys. I have a little something special.
Go ahead.
Do you know what this is?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see what that is. Go ahead.
Now, I wish I could find the reason one. Unfortunately, I usually color these in a lot better, but this was so. If I can find the reason one, I'll share it. But this is our Trans-Pacific, the track. Yes. So I made the track in Reason, and then exported it and mixed it in. Where is it? Hold on. In Logic. Look at all these tracks.
Why don't you just mix it?
Because I hate Reason for mixing, dude. It's a nightmare. It makes sense in the blocks for creating, but it makes a lot more sense to mix in Logic. So yeah. So that's why I mix in Logic. But and I master in Logic and everything. But this is the track. I don't know. Can you guys hear it?
No.
Can't hear anything now.
It's probably something with loop back. Let me just see real quick. But that's the apparently I no longer have loop back on this computer. So okay. Well, unfortunately, I can't share it, but this is the first thing we ever did together, Trans-Pacific. So I have my bass, and let me see where I can find all of Curtis's stuff. These are all the guitars, and I just he sent me a loop, and I chopped it up in Reason, and see the beat, low fry, bounced, low fry. Those are all Curtis's naming conventions. Small snare, sub kick, main kick, T snare. I think that, this one's mine. Big kick and verb snare. That's my addition. Curtis, massive snare hit. That's that boom that hits before like every big part. You hear the song every episode of Audionautic. Used to be at the beginning, now at the end. But so he sent me like a loop, and I chopped it up and then did all this stuff to it. And he sent me some melodic sounds that I moved all over. I added the Prophet. I added live bass, which I really need to start doing again. And a bunch of guitars, all in drop A. That song's in drop A. But yeah. Mike says it's Logic, Sunwarper. I know, it's the best DAW. What were you gonna say there, Curtis?
I've forgotten now.
All good. All good. I will read a happier note from Mike though. He says, I have just joined the ADSN community relatively recently, but the community here is very supportive and welcoming. And Bendu says, finding a community of folks whose music I admire is everything. Happy 4-year anniversary. That means a lot. Thanks. And looks like even though I read that positive thing, Mike and I now have to get into fisticuffs because he says that's fighting talk outside now. Come at me, bro. Come at me. No, use whatever DAW works, but I do love not Ableton. Nope. Yeah. I might love Ableton soon though, because I've gotten it now, thanks to Eon Lake, or at least the light, as we talked about in Starstream. But no, I do love me some Logic. It's just what I learned on. Well, I learned on Reason actually, but Logic makes the most sense, like I said, for mixing and stuff for me. But whatever works, just go for it. Yeah.
Very much so.
But yeah, while you talk really quick, I'm just going to see really quickly if I can find the Reason file, because you can see all of the chopping up that I did. But I don't know if I can. But carry on. I'll just look really quick.
I mean, let's be honest. If you want to be a proper top flight, gilt-edged producer, I mean, you've got to be multi-door, really, haven't you? Surely.
Yeah, that's why I use so many
skills.
Bendu says Freudian slip. Yeah, it's okay. You can record it if you want. I don't care. I will be using Ableton, but I still am not a fan of it. Let's see in a year when I use it for all these samplers and stuff if I end up using it. But I don't think I will, because I really don't like its workflow.
I get that.
Mike Smith's so narrow-minded with this multi-DAW as long as it's Ableton. You remain in your little Ableton cave. It's okay.
I wonder if I get a nibble on that one.
Yeah, you can see the reflections that have come from the other DAWs on the cave wall. It's okay.
That does lead me to an interesting question. Just offers tangents out of curiosity. Reason and Logic for Sunwarper, Ableton and what for Eon Lake?
Logic.
Yeah, probably Logic. I might buy a copy in the near future.
Okay, fair enough.
But I got to tell you, I really love those session players and the stem splitting. I'd love to see Ableton add that, because that really has like upped my use of, and the app on the having a full Logic on my iOS is crazy convenient. Yeah, so I would like to see, Ableton compete in those spaces, because that's. The stem splitting is crazy. I mixed the track that's coming out on Friday. I had to mix with stem splitting, and I just used Logic and then fixed it up and all that. Little bro comes out swinging. GarageBand is better. And Thomas says, just to relieve us, I'm not driving and texting. I'm back home. I thought maybe he was like being held hostage because he put Ableton as king, but you know, I'm just kidding. Bendu says, I'm Bitwig curious. But yes,
I feel that, man.
I swear, Letters from Mouse, we were talking about this recently, used Bitwig, I think, because I think he had told me like, oh, go check it out, and I downloaded like a free version, but just couldn't get the.
There's always a kinky one, isn't there?
I'm gonna look for this. Let's see if I can find this. That was what, 2019, Curtis, that we did that track.
It would be, because it came out in 2020.
My naming conventions were so stupid back then. I have no idea what anything is, because it's just like
we were stupid back
then. iPad recreation.
Why don't we start
1911 22 cool ARP. Yeah, I'm really gonna know what that track is. Volca weird trippy beat. Well, that okay.
Nice. Well, there you go.
Let's see. I can't seem to find it though.
There
Unfortunately.
you go. So how have you developed over the last few years? Well, I've started including BPMs and keys in my track names.
I still don't do that. I still don't do that. That would be helpful, but I still don't do that. No, but I put I started doing the dates, which was huge. But
So
now if I have a name, I put the name.
It's called Cool Up from 5 years ago.
I actually know what Cool ARP is, though. That's the
Really?
title track from Radiant Visage. It's Radiant Visage. I do know that one. The other ones, though, I have no idea.
I've gone the other way. So now I will, if I've got a clip in Ableton or something like that, which is a patch from say the Nova or the Monologue or something like that, I'll name it specifically that and then the number, which means that I know exactly what it means. But if it's a collaboration, no one has any idea what it means, and I kind of like that. I kind of like giving that notion of, if you send over stems to someone and you go pad, lead, bass, sub bass, whatever, then you're kind of pigeonholing what the sound is, right? And obviously you can train and we know what these frequencies are and what the sound is. But if I just name it like Derek or something like that, you got no clue what's going down, and it just makes everything a lot more exciting.
Well, this will make you happy. Then I have here from 2013 3 tracks, 3 different files. Whoa 2. And Whoa 3. I have no idea what that is, but this is because this is my desktop, which I've been using since. Well, I have files from 2013 on there, but I've been using it since I think 2020. Oh, maybe that isn't on here then because it's from 2020. But I'm just gonna keep looking real quick while let's persevere. But
I'm going to file those comments from Curtis. If we do a collaboration in the future, I'm going to be exporting stems called bass drum or hi-hat if you like.
I would love that. I would love that. That'd be like music to my ears.
Or is it? I don't know.
Don't tell me what sounds you have. I will make the decision.
Privacy. I didn't ask it.
That's funny. All right, gentlemen, anything else? And I know that there's some comments, but Curtis, I know we got to talk about the comments for what we're doing. So do you want to move to that, or is there anything else besides funny naming conventions? I wish I could find this this reason file because it's so interesting, but I don't know if I can find it. So anyways, continue, Curtis.
I've learned to let go a lot more recently, and I think that's great, and I thank the community for that, because it's showing me that everything is fun and none of it really matters. It's meant to be fun. I lose sight more recently of the fun of what this is, and everything's so serious and everything's such a discipline and a rudimentary process. So I'm glad that I have this community here that can tell me that, hey, you know what, chill out, it's going to be fine.
Chill, bro.
So anyone else on anything before I've shared my screen?
No, I think we're good. I haven't. Okay. I can't share it. You'll have to share it real quick. Just switch back to the tab and throw it on. I'm hell bent to find this thing, man.
I get you. Well, people listening on live or listening back or watching back or anything like that, if you've got anything to share, if you want to say anything about your retrospect for Audionautic, we do welcome it. It'd be lovely to hear where you're coming from and lovely what you want to see and do. As it is our 4th anniversary, we talked about this a few weeks ago in our previous ADSM before Ian Lake and I dropped away for a bit, about new merch. And you guys went to the Discord and you voted. Sadly, no one wanted to have a yoga mat, but that's fine. That's fine. That's
fine. Bucket hats.
Yeah, so people voted for a baseball cap, and so we have delivered. This is not a real person. I think this is an AI mock-up.
The hands look real-esque, though. So
yeah, it's true.
Be a person that just the blank hat is
maybe
green screen or like Photoshop, whatever.
Maybe. Well, we have decided. You guys voted for baseball caps, and so this is what we've done. This is a selection of baseball caps that I've kind of racked up. We've currently got white, we've got tan, we've got red, we've got black.
Thomas loves it.
There are some more.
I think he's the one that recommended the hat in the first place that we threw it on the poll.
He is. Yeah, I think he is.
Dude, sign me up. I'm in.
I will put them through.
Embroidered, no less.
Embroidered, yes. It's not stuck on, it's embroidered. And this is what we're going to be putting
this is the quality because this is the same supplier. So or distributor.
So yeah.
Whatever.
I personally like the Mario one a little bit. I like the Mario one myself. But we will be putting these out for general release in the next few weeks, and you'll be able to get them once we've processed everything and once we've kind of worked out the logistics and the business side of it. But coming back to today, if you would like to get one in your hands, we are doing a little giveaway to celebrate 4 years, whereas you can get a hat, and you can get a hat of your choice of color within reason. And I'll give
the colors that we have, not just any old color. Yeah, it's the ones he's showing.
Yeah.
Let's give that clause right out the bat.
Ones that we're showing.
That's another thing I learned. Rain in Curtis.
Yeah, sometimes rain in.
I'm just kidding.
But we will be doing that. And if you wanted to leave your comment below, we will put your name into a proverbial hat, and we will pull a name out of the proverbial hat, and whoever gets the name out of that will get a hat for free on us and sent to your place of living, be that a house or be that a cave of Ableton, which sounds a lot more fun than a house, to be honest. So just leave it below. Leave a comment on the YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify or on Apple Music, head over to our YouTube and put a comment there. Just tell us your retrospect. If you've been part of the community, whether you've been part of the community for the last day, or whether you've been a community for the last 4 years in some people's cases, what's your takeaway? What do you believe? What is it that you appreciate about the community in which you are a part of? What have you learned? What have you taken down? Where have you grown? Please let us know. Put your name into a hat, and then you can get a hat, and it'll be fun.
There you go. Yeah. And so anybody watching right now live on the chat, you'll have to comment after the video ends. That's the only way to do this, so we can have the thing and all that. And yeah. And there goes Thomas. We love it. Says, and remember to smash in all caps that like.
Okay.
Yes. As Eon Lake also said earlier, if it's not destroyed, you haven't done it right. But Thomas also said $12 for the cap, $60 for postage and taxes. I have to tell you, I know that's somewhat jokingly, but international shipping is getting crazy, really crazy. So that's something that we need to talk about in terms of being independent musicians, like for ADSN. I want to talk about that to keep you all aware of what's going on and stuff. But you don't have to worry about that. If you win this hat, we're covering it. So we'll take that for you. We'll take that for you. But yes, the shipping is not that much. I think we looked international. I want to say is like 24 or something, which is crazy. I know, but that's just the way it is. We're also like CDs and vinyl are getting crazy too. So something we can talk about for a future ADSN, just in terms of, being independent musicians. Everybody says make merch, that's where you make money, but then shipping is becoming quite the issue. And some of the workarounds we had are now no longer there. So I think it's something we should talk about to keep everyone appraised of like what's going on. But Thomas says it is regarding the shipping being ridiculous. I agree. And he also says, I will buy one anyway. Well, we appreciate that. Yeah, we also do have shirts. They're on our Bandcamp. This will go up on our Bandcamp when it's ready. But yes, just leave a comment with what you've taken away from the Audionautic community, lessons you've learned, anything like that, what Audionautic means to you, however you want to put it. Put it in the comments of this YouTube video after it ends. And next week, we will draw a name from a hat, and you'll win a hat, as Curtis said. Yeah. So exciting stuff. I'm very excited. But I mean, we couldn't do these 4 years without you. You're all what make it happen. And especially our patrons who really help us do this every week, and all these things that we use like StreamYard. I forgot. I turned on the Audionautic logo, and it's just been on this whole time up here.
Nice.
We still have, though, StreamYard, who was our resident Eon Lake when Eon Lake couldn't be there. He was StreamYard Lake. But but yeah, I think that's everything. Eon Lake, what are you up to this week besides losing a tan or trying to maintain your tan?
Yeah, I'm moisturizing a lot. Moisturize like crazy. No, I'm experimenting. I am going to be doing some ambient stuff. I've got a little rig set up, a number of things. I'm going to do a track in an hour tonight, and
nice.
Yeah, I'm really
a little late, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Hey, throw it in there though, because I want to hear it. Everybody, I'm sure, wants to hear it.
Share it in the channel, just for the sake of it. But yeah, I mean, I'm just exploring things at the moment. I've got some things on the back burner to revisit as well that are of the more down tempo nature, and then I'm hoping that we choose to do a different genre challenge, because I've got something that I want to do for that as well.
All right. Well, everyone, if you want to make Eon like smile, which is kind of rare,
Yeah,
let's be real. You guys,
if
come
such
on.
a thing is
Do we need to
possible.
play like some sad piano music or something? But if you want to help Eon like keep having a good time, that, you know, vote for the different genre, which Curtis didn't even put up in the poll. So, you know,
And obliterate the like button. I mean, you know, just when you think you've smashed it, you know, go back, take a run up again, and, you know, launch yourself at it.
yeah, there you go. But yeah, we'll put the vote in the Discord. I will take into account these votes. But if it seems like the Discord vote is prevailingly the different genre, then we might just go with that, because this one is a bit skewed, missing a vote. So, but that's okay. We'll see what happens. That's awesome, Eon. Like, I'm looking forward to hearing what you come up with. Curtis, what are you up to this week, or are you busy looking up something? I'm happy to go, and if you need to do. You look like you're like diligently on the computer researching something.
No, I'm just keeping abreast of where we're at.
Okay.
This week, what am I doing? Well, I'm working all day Saturday, which is fun. In the best of ways. Rigging and teching outside in the late summer heat. It's going to be amazing.
Nice.
And I'm about a third of the way through the overdub set of my album, and so I think I'll do a bit more of that. Very much kind of using this section to play over the top of the loops I've already pre-built, and formulating the solos that go over the ebbs and flows, you might say. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's where I'm at. Looking forward to it. How about yourself, man?
You know, I'm carving out a little time just to like make some music. Yesterday, I made a new drum sample pack with a bunch of like really like old school sampler, distorted, crunchy like drums. And I took one of those and turned it. It was 91, and I made it 166. Chopped it up on the old Digitact. Made some drum and bass, I sampled 2 chords from the mini log and repitched them to like the old school like ambient D&B or whatever sound and stuff. And that was a lot of fun. So I'm trying to do that type of stuff. And then I've got an SP beat set out Saturday, because Friday I've got new EP that should have vinyl coming, but I have to figure out that a couple of little hiccups have happened. But the vinyl should still be coming out on Friday as well. But a little EP is coming out. But yeah, I've got that. That's what's happening. Yeah, exciting stuff. And really quickly, a couple of things from the chat, but that's what I'm up to, Curtis. Bendu says, how can I revisit the original interviews with Star Madman, Spectre, and Survey Channel? I looked on YouTube, but don't see them. Yeah, I had to go through, and the way the algorithm works with YouTube, you have to like unlist videos and stuff that like aren't getting viewed. It's really weird. And since ADSN is like our format now, I had to mute all those. They should be on Spotify and Apple and podcast stuff. If not, I believe they're all still on YouTube, just unlisted. So I can post them in the Discord if you want to watch them. I had a thought that we should maybe watch one of our old Lightspeeds or one of the old video ones, like a quick minute of it, just to see how different we are now. But I think we're a little too short on time. But if you want to see us kind of react to that, let us know. We could do it in the next episode. But I thought that would be a lot of fun. But I wanted to show you guys the first project Curtis and I ever did together, that Trans-Pacific project. Because, yeah, that was what started it all. But yeah, let me know, Bendu, if they're not on there, if you don't go on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I understand. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I'll try and find the unlisted videos. And then Little Bro says, how to giveaway? I forgot. So I think what you're asking is how to do the giveaway. So all you have to do is when this live stream ends, once the comments open on YouTube, leave a comment about what takeaways you've gotten from YouTube, what takeaways you've gotten from Audionautic, things you've learned from Audionautic, anything of that sort, like what value you've gotten from Audionautic. And then next week we'll draw it in a hat. And Thomas says, by the way, which episode number is this? 4 years. You guys must have made a ton of episodes by now. This is episode 127, but we did 1 or 2 years worth of videos that were of different formats, not ADSN. So I think really we'd be at a much higher number, probably.
Yeah, at least double.
It looks here that we've got 250 videos on our YouTube.
But
that's
what
short, I can see here
too.
That no, it's not. It's just
on videos.
It's just the videos that we've done. So we've done 252 videos in total. We've got 127 episodes of ADSN. Obviously, our light speeds were a thing beforehand. Our audio shows, just the Audionautic podcast back in the day. Yeah. We've gone through shifts.
Ebbs and flows.
Why it's exactly, you could say. It's why some of the content, our oldest content, can't be seen, is because, like you say, because this is what we have to do. Yeah. Well, this is our model right now, and this is the algorithm that we adhere to. We are a slave to the algorithm, so we've had to remove some older stuff to a degree.
To a degree.
Yeah. Only algorithm.
Anyways, Thomas says that he does want a reaction video. So I'll tell you what, leave a like on the video if you want to see a reaction. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, there you go.
The episodes for Survey Channel and Star Madman.
Don't public them.
I'm not gonna.
No. We'll just I'll put them in the Discord. But I think they are all on podcast stuff.
They are here. Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, that's where we're at. All right. So
we've got to have a quick emergency meeting.
We're gonna have a meeting.
Yeah, no, we have to have a meeting. But Thomas says that could be a track title, Slave to the Algorithm. Yeah, that probably is. Knowing
algorithmic anxiety.
Yeah, that is a track of mine. Yeah, that's true, but not Slave to the Algorithm. That could be yours. We could have like twinsies. Anyways, we got to go have a little meeting, figure out some stuff, but it will be all good. Everything's gonna be all right.
It'll be all right.
That's good. Thank you.
Just keep Eon Lake happy and vote for that genre we don't normally work in. No, I'm kidding. Vote for whatever you want, but no. Eon Lake will cry if he doesn't get it. One single solitary tear running down. But that's all right. It's all right. Anyways, Jones remix. Yeah. Is that there's that, what was that? Didn't Boards of Canada do a Grace Jones remix? I forget the track, but yeah, it's probably a similar name or something. Anyways, we got to go. It's been awesome hanging out with you all. Amazing to have 4 years doing this. Here's to many, many more. But yeah, we'll be back next week. Make sure you comment if you want to have a chance at winning that hat. And yeah, make sure you comment what kind of takeaways, value, anything like that you've gotten from Audionautic. And we will see you next week. Thanks for watching.